case of Scott versus Gilbert. Mr. Scott, you were suing Mr. Gilbert for $1,284. You say you were injured when the defendant's dog attacked you. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gilbert, you say that the plaintiff was trespassing on your property.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, please take me back to that day, Mr. Scott. You said the defendant's dog attacked you.
So the day of the incident, my son and I, Jason, we were just out playing catch like other families do in the cul-de-sac. It's a little driveway where, families hang out at. And we were just playing catch. And I'm working on Jason's accuracy. And essentially the ball sailed over my head. I tried to knock it down. And it bounced a couple times and then rolled in the front of Antonio's house.
It just went over on his property?
It just went over in his property.
Okay, so what happened then?
So I darted over. I didn't want to be in his yard. It took all of 10 seconds to get the ball and come back. But on the way back, next thing you know, Billy, his dog, burst through a screen door. That screen door, by the way, seemed like it should have been replaced. I'm not casting judgment.
You saw all that while you were running away.
I was able to see it on the way there and just being a neighbor of his for the past few years. It's an old door. And so his dog Billy burst through the screen, gets my calf, and starts tearing it to shreds, blood's gushing out. Antonio essentially comes out because he hears all this happening, and his way of helping was just to call Billy over. He wasn't concerned about me. He gave a half apology.
Well, he had to get the dog off you.
That is right.
That's the first thing you're going to do is call the dog and get the dog off of you.
He just cared more, but it seemed like it was an inconvenience to him that this was happening on his property than me as a person. It could have been my son Jason.
Your Honor, on my property.
What type of dog is it?
Your Honor, he's a Rottweiler dog.
Okay.
That I took under an adoption, and that he has been with me for 4 years. So
how old is he?
12 years old.
12 years old. So
yes,
a pretty old dog, but not old enough that he couldn't catch up with Mr. Scott.
However, Your Honor, I'd like to add that this dog has a prior service record, so he's well-trained, well-disciplined, and well-behaved. And not one time has he shown any aggression or attacked any one of the prior neighbors or any passerbyers.
And so you feel that on this particular day, your dog felt threatened or felt like your home or you were threatened when Mr. Scott came over to get the ball?
Your Honor, yes, ma'am. That is correct. However,
however what?
The aggravation to the dog was compiled when 3 times he entered the yard, and each time my dog stayed behind the screen door. He alerted to that just by barking, non-aggressively, not scratching at the screen door or anything.
So what do you mean 3 times he came? The ball rolled over into your yard 3 times?
I heard the dog bark once. I looked out there, I saw the ball in the yard. He retrieved it. Mike retrieved it. It happened a 2nd time. The 3rd time I was in the kitchen, just preparing some meals, I heard a loud crash and bang, at which time I ran out to the front living room area to see what happened, and by that time, my dog Billy was out of the yard, and he bit my neighbor Mike, who was only several feet from my front doorstep, despite
I thought the ball was on the grass. Why is he by your front doorstep now?
Who knows, Your Honor? That ball could have struck my screen door and then bounced off into the yard.
Where did the ball roll, Mr. Scott?
Your Honor, if I may, I actually have supporting evidence I'd like to
Please do.
provide to you. I have a diagram that shows our cul-de-sac and our yard, along with my medical bill. If I may, Your Honor, can I describe what we're looking at?
Please.
So as you can see, defendant's house is Antonio's. Of course, I'm to the left. He overthrew me just a little bit, and it rolled into the yard. And by the way, the other 2 times...
What is this little space that you're playing in, like a common green area?
Your Honor, that's a cul-de-sac area.
It's just, that's the street. You're in the street.
We're in the street. The green's the grass, and that X is where the ball landed. But, Your Honor, the first 2 times, the ball barely rolled into his yard. I was able to get it at arm's length. I didn't have to go into his yard 1 time. For 10 seconds, I'm in his yard, and now I'm paying the price of 10 stitches.
I absolutely love the plaintiff in this case. How he says, but it's only a little. It just was an arm's length. That's how much I trespassed. Just a tiny bit. So I broke the law, but just a little bit, so it doesn't really count. I don't believe it works that way. At the same time, I do believe that the dog owner, knowing that they kept getting that ball onto his property and coming over to retrieve the ball, he should have maybe exited his house and had a conversation with the father stating that I have a dog who is getting agitated because of you guys keep coming onto my property to get your ball. So can you please move and stop throwing the ball onto my front yard and maybe play somewhere else so all of us are safe? And none of that happened. And that's just amazing to me that two adults could not have a conversation, and both of them knew and were well aware of what was happening, yet no one decided to knock at the door or pick up the phone and have a face-to-face or at least over the phone conversation about what was going on and how to protect the dog and the child. Back to the case.
Did the ball go on his property?
It did, for 10
thank
seconds.
You. Thank you. That's all I need to know.
And Your Honor.
So the ball went on his property.
What else am I supposed to do?
How many times did the ball go on his property that day?
One time.
Just one time.
It went deep into the yard. The other two, I got it at arm's length. It was barely.
I didn't ask you how long did it go deep into the property. I said how many times did the ball roll onto his property?
You're right, Your Honor. 3 official times.
I am right. How many times?
Right. 3 official times.
3 times. That day while you're playing. Each time you went, the dog was barking. This. Did it ever occur to you, Mr. Gilbert, that you know what? They're out there in the front. Yeah, I just happen to have a dog too. And I have a German Shepherd, which is also a trained dog. And I know that there are certain things as an owner, right, that I understand that may excite or give my dog some type of anxiety. Did you ever think to just say, you know what, let me come take him out back, or come on, let me bring him in the house, or let me just bring him somewhere else, because this is just going to worry him? Because that's what dogs are trained to do, protect property.
Your Honor, I'd have to agree with you. However.
So why didn't you just take the dog and remove him away from the screen door? Did you realize your screen door was a little shoddy?
Your Honor, my screen door is not shoddy.
Okay, so it wasn't shoddy. But
No,
you have
ma'am.
a Rottweiler at a screen door.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
think a Rottweiler's teeth are strong enough to bite through screen?
It is, but there's no evidence of bite marks on the screen.
Right, I'm just asking you. As an owner, do you think that that could be a possibility?
Yes, if a dog's untrained.
So did it ever occur to you that with a Rottweiler, maybe I should get one of those glass doors instead of just a screen?
Either way, it's a Rottweiler. If he wanted to get through the glass, he could have went through the window on those several occasions when Mike was
No,
with his
don't they have those new kind of screen things where
They
it's
sure
not
do.
breakable?
Your Honor,
you
I
understand?
understand.
So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
saying you have the screen door. You know if your dog wanted to, your dog could get through that screen door, right?
Your Honor,
So do you
yes,
think
ma'am.
you have a duty of care as an owner to say there's a kid playing out front with their dad, they're rolling the ball, and he keeps barking, let me just bring him in here because I don't want him to bust through the screen after them?
Well, Your Honor, despite several warnings, doesn't he have a duty to be careful? Up until the point the ball hit the screen door, which may have aggravated Billy.
Did your ball hit the screen door, Mr. Scott?
No, it did not, Your Honor.
Question
Your Honor,
to
that's
you in
untruthful.
terms of being a parent who's thinking about the safety of their child. Did you ever say to yourself, oh, gee, I have a kid and we're rolling the ball, and there's a Rottweiler at a screen door. Maybe I should reposition where we're throwing this ball so it doesn't keep landing directly near Mr. Gilbert's property. Did you ever think about that?
I definitely did.
Do you have a backyard on your house?
I don't. I only have the front yard. And
Do
that,
you have any other part of that yard where you could have gone where you weren't sitting in that ball going straight over there near the Rottweiler?
Unfortunately, no, Your
Okay,
Honor.
bring that diagram back up, please. Where's your house?
So I'm to the left of the defendant.
What's that green part in front of your house?
I was about to say I used to play catch right there, and we noticed that there was a better chance of that ball dribbling into Antonio's yard. So I moved into the driveway trying to be proactive. You know, I'll take a bullet for Jason.
Your Honor,
I'll do
directly in
anything
front
for
of
him.
my front door.
No, stop talking.
What's amazing to me, it truly sounds like the plaintiff tries to make everything someone else's problem. But he was the one who made the decision to play at a certain area. And he noticed that not once, not 2 times, but 3 times, the ball was rolling onto his neighbor's yard. And he had to go and actually trespass, which is breaking the law, to retrieve the ball. He did not make any corrections at that point. And oh my gosh, the sun was in my eyes. Then maybe, why don't you play either sooner or later during the day, or just move it a little bit, maybe go a little bit more down the street. And that's something that a father should have made a decision about and not put his son or himself in danger. Let's go back.
Mr. Scott, if your yard is over here and you've got a front yard, why isn't you didn't just angle yourself over to this side and maybe go in between your house and the neighbor over here where you're nowhere near the dog?
You know, honestly, the sun was just getting in our eyes at that point. We were just trying to find a little bit of shade. And that's the honest to God truth.
And you just take a bullet for your child, but you wouldn't decide to play ball after the sun went down enough so that you could go over to around somewhere where a Rottweiler wasn't. Child, make it make sense. Y'all in here wasting my time.
Your
Let me
Honor.
tell you, no, don't talk anymore. I'm sick of hearing it. This isn't making sense. I've walked through several levels of care for both plaintiff and defendant that you all could have walked through to ensure that you were not harmed. When you say you hear a dog barking and you know they're out there playing ball and there's kids out there and you don't go and close your door, you're wrong as well. You trespassing on the property, but you knew good and well he kept coming there and get the ball. And you never even said to them, hey, don't play ball over here. You see the beware of dog? My dog doesn't like it, move. Both of y'all wrong. What's the money? Because I'm sick of y'all. 1284. That's the damages you had?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me put this in half because I'm ready to go. $642 each. Listen, we're going to split the difference on this. Both of you all were negligent. You knew good and well that ball was going on your yard. You knew good and well your dog was sitting there at a screen door, and you knew there was a child out there. You
Your Honor.
better be lucky that something worse did not happen. But when you put yourself in danger over and over again, trespassing on somebody's house with Rottweiler at a screen door, you might as well just run away with the circus, boy. You in here acting crazy. Judgment for the plaintiff for $642, half of the $1,284 you asked. You all need to split the difference on this, and you all need to figure out how to be neighbors. Have a conversation. That's the part that drives me crazy. You have so much to say now, but neither of you, two grown men, didn't do the right thing. I feel bad for the baby and the dog. Court is adjourned.
I just absolutely love this judge and her attitude. Oh, you both are guilty as charged. It's both of your negligence that caused this incident to happen, and both of you are responsible. I 100% agree, by the way. I do believe the father should have executed a proper care when he noticed that the ball kept getting into his neighbor's yard. And he was well aware that he had a big dog, which is protective of the property and his owners. At the same time, the dog owner, who also saw the ball getting onto his front yard, instead of stepping out and actually having a conversation with the father or getting the dog away from the scene, again, did nothing. He just felt very righteous about, rightfully so, by the way. I do believe that it's his property and the dog has the right to protect property the dog lives in. But at the same time, he saw they're not robbers who are trying to break in. They were his neighbors and a child who were playing a ball. So just a simple conversation between two adults would have resolved this whole situation, and they wouldn't have to come to court and be, I'm sorry to say, embarrassed by the judge, Lauren Lake. But what did you guys think about this case? Do you agree with the judgment, or do you think one bears bigger responsibility than the other? Please put it in the comments below, and thank you for watching.